Believe and you will see. Greetings, my friends. This is Silver Simon Black from Silverbacking Dhows. Today I do not know where to start because so many things happened and I'm in shock and awe because what happened today was like living the dream, or at least the start of the dream, starting to see the light on the other side of the tunnel. See, yesterday night I went outside to visit my dragon guardian, like I always do, and for some reason the connection wasn't as good, because it happens sometimes, no one is perfect. Sometimes one of us is tired and it is not as easy to connect with her, which is totally normal. I was very tired, therefore the connection was not as good, and I could see the trees and the wind was very, very ferocious at some point of the night after I decided to listen to our wind chimes. It was a weird feeling because when you are tired, you feel more vulnerable and things tend to happen easier. And then, I don't know, I started to talk with her saying that it was not the best night to do paranormal stuff because she really loves two things: music, playing our little wind chimes, displaying also our wind show-offs, like with the snow, for example, making snakes shape out of snow dust, and it's incredible. It's living the dream. I did not even know that dragons were real and still existed on this plane at some level, and I thought they were far in the mountains until my dragon guardian wakes me up, and it was an incredible experience. Really, I was discussing and briefing when I realized, I'm seeing something. At first, I thought it's my breath in the cold. It makes some kind of condensation. But then I realized something. My smoke, my condensation. It reminded me that I could actually see the energy when I was younger, and I even know how. And you know what is the day is like, half dark, half light, or if you are in a very dark room but there's still light that comes in the room. So I was outside on the porch and the light from the house came out of it. It looked like very, very heavenly Canadian little winter around Christmas time, and there was a bit of snow. I started to focus on the energy, which I could see because I noticed I can see my breath over the dark landscape. So like you imagine, like everything black, everything dark around, and behind the energy, per se, it's hard to explain it, so bear with me. It's like seeing a kind of thick rain of energy, of dark gray smoke moving around, if that makes sense. And this you can see this into a camera. It's the same thing. You don't need a camera, a cell phone to record this energy. You can see it yourself, and I realized that. And when I did, I started to see my dragon's body for real, because it was moving, so the energy was easier to spot around. Once I focused on the energy that was right in front of my face, I could see it. I could see the scales. It was just doing, just like flying all around me. The dragon was flying around me, and I could see her scales. And she was there, playing the wind chimes to channel her excessive energy and talking to me. And we were just relaxing into the strong wind rushes of the last winter. And I thought she was mad at first, because dragons have a lot of powerful energy. It can be intimidating, and yesterday my connection wasn't really good with her, so I thought maybe she was angry. So this morning I messaged my friend, and we I think it is an important thing to share, an experience to share, because it's rich in the sense that it's something new for me. It's something that still confuses me. Dragons and their real intentions. Dragons are wild, shy, and reserved. And as a mechanism, a defense mechanism, they hide their real emotions and intentions sometimes. Or sometimes it's so, the energy is so powerful and too intense. You get so overwhelmed by the strength of the energy. It confuses you, and you don't understand, and I couldn't connect, so I couldn't feel. There was like a wall of energy, like a rush of wind made by herself. And it's just her emotions were too strong, so I couldn't feel that she was happy, because when dragons are very happy, they do a really, really creepy show of elemental demonstrations. At least mine does. And she makes the trees move a lot in the wind and bend even. And this is amazing. So I thought she was mad. I came this morning to talk to my friend on the phone, and we discussed about this. We thought at first he thought that my dragon was battling or protecting me from an entity. So I went to see my dragon this morning, and I asked her about it, and she didn't seem, my connection was better this morning, so when I talked to her, she confirmed she was not angry. And then I noticed, my friend, that there was a snowstorm coming. The snow was starting, but later in the day, this was early in the day, and no other trees were moving, but for some reason in my backyard and just a bit around my house, it's chaos. The wind is chaos here. It feels like I'm in a storm every time she's here, and that is more and more frequent. It is so intense, my friends, that I'm scared that my neighbors notice it. It is that intense. And this is incredible. I'm overwhelmed by this. My dragon is a really, 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 really powerful poltergeist, and we have a really strong connection. And the magic is palpable. It's in the air. You can smell it. You can feel it. I feel like I'm living the dream, like a fairy tale that is not even real, but I know that all of this is real. And that makes it so fucking awesome. Like, when you're a kid, you think, oh, dragons do not exist, but you wish they did. Then you grow up later and you realize they're fucking real, man. They're fucking real! Holy sh! And they might live in this dimension, upper dimension, and are harder to reach, but it is all about the law of attraction. It is all about manifestation. You can manifest your dragon in a treaty. You know what? The only thing you need to do is to believe that you can. The only thing in life, if you think about it, it makes sense. The only thing in life that will make you really success is that you believe it 100% to be true and happening at the moment. And you gotta be grateful for what you have. You act and think like you have to convince yourself. You have to be 1000% convinced yourself. You might say it like 1000 times and not believe it. It won't manifest. But the second you will believe, my friend, the second you will believe, it's gonna happen. Anything in life. Seeing dragons, doing magic, shape-shifting, a lot of things. You can do whatever you want. It is incredible. And you have this power in you. Because you are like a little god. You can create your own reality. It doesn't mean that you don't need the superior forces or guidance from other guardians in life or other spirits, but it makes you freaking powerful. And the dragon needs you to come into the 3D on Earth. It needs you to help people around. It needs you for the dragon as well. It's like a symbiosis, a very mutual, very, very enriching mutual contract of souls. So yeah, I noticed there was a storm, and a snowstorm. I live around in Canada, and I do not practice magic, by the way, but magic happens around me, and it's incredible. It's just, I don't even want to touch magic, and it's just like, not forcing itself on me, but just like being there around me, and I have to deal with it, and it's just, I love it. I love it. I can still hear her rushing outside. Like, the wind is so powerful. It just whips my car shelter. I don't know how to call this. It's like a place you put your car in winter into, like a little tent. Looks like a little tent. It's to protect from the snow, and she loves to rush the wind on it, and it slaps real hard. It's just her being happy, and that's what I was trying to say. Dragons can hide their feelings and intentions to defend themselves and protect themselves from other entities, from humans. And mine looked angry, but she was actually very happy. And it's just that her energy is so overwhelming that it's hard to tell if she was happy or angry at first. So, the last storm of winter has come. But I did not know that when earlier in the day, and my dragon was just trying to tell me there's a storm coming, and she was happy, and she was hyper, and she was just playing all around. So I stayed for like 1 hour, and I looked at her doing shapes of snakes with the snow dust. Like, she lifted the snow dust, and she's like a wind elemental dragon mostly. And she's very powerful at what she's doing, and she was just casually making dragon shapes and snake shapes, and she was just flying, like just not even flying, just floating. She was letting herself being lifted in the air and doing all these kind of graceful figures for a few hours. Usually, I never noticed these snakes, serpentines before. See, this snow phenomenon is kind of normal here in Canada, but the way she does it, the way I see it, it clearly makes dragon shapes, and she uses that subtlety that we know humans that this is like more of a natural phenomenon, just like the tree branches, they're supposed to move in the wind, but she uses that to amplify the elements and stay subtle when she's around humans. It's a very powerful astral projection, and she uses it the most she can, and she's very powerful. So yeah, I spent a good part of the day with her, and then I came back inside, and I went back later in the evening, and I wanted to try that ghost technique to see ghosts again. So to see if I could see her, and I did. So it wasn't in my head. All you have to do is to be, like I said, in this dark versus light place in between, and more dark than light actually. And you have to look into the darkness and notice all these dark grayish particles that move like rain or shapes or anything. It looks like a bit of smoke, like the same kind of smoke that comes out of your mouth if you breathe in the cold. It looks very similar, that's why I noticed it. But it moved, and it was huge, and it made the shape of a snake, and I could clearly see all along the scales of a snake very, very distinctly. And it was like translucent, and it was surrounding me and just flying and moving around me just like a snake would do. And she was so close. I could feel the pressure of the wind around me. It's like a little gentle push, but all around me. It's hard to explain. And when I talk to her, she like sends wind in my ear or just like on the side of my head to answer. And sometimes the rushes, they bring emotions and tensions, even words in my head sometimes, even because we are talking through also telepathy, along with using the elements to communicate as well, just like the wind chimes and the wind in general, the tree branches making yes or no and stuff like that. And we were just talking like this, and I could see her body. I could fucking see her body. I think I found a way to see ghosts for all of these noobs like me who never could because they were too scared and blocked the ability when they were younger. I know how to unblock that. I know how now because I did it. I fucking did it. And you know what's the most crazy about this? Is yesterday I came to realize something very important, very stupid even, very, very simple, that I said to myself, what if the only reason I cannot see ghosts in the astral realm is because I believe I cannot do it? It's because I'm convinced that I can't do it. And it all made sense in my head, and it just clicked, you know? So I believed it today. And I did this technique and I saw her. See what I mean here? It is so simple to manifest, but so powerful. Like I always said, believe and only you will see.